Hello and welcome to this section. In this section, we are going to be working on a very sensitive topic. We call it traverse the DOM. Traversing the DOM. What is traversing the DOM? Now, the traversing the DOM means moving up and down the DOM. Okay? So moving up and down the DOM, that's what we mean by traversing. That is to say, selecting an element from another element. So that's what we mean by traversing the DOM. We're using properties like children, child nodes. We're using properties like parent, sibling. So we're just trying to move up and down the DOM, and it's a very sensitive topic. So I want you guys to stay glued. Now let's move on to what we have to do. So I'm going to comment on this. So traverse the DOM. Now firstly, let's declare some variables. So let's say we have var. Okay, oh sorry. Oh my god, that's on my PC. Alright, we have let's file. Alright, so put that, then we have console.log. And we have file, so we don't keep on repeating that console. So right in here, let's declare two variables. We have list equal document dot query selector. So firstly, we're going to be selecting the UL. So we have UL, then we have list hyphen group. Alright, list group. Put a semicolon there. So we're just firstly we are going to be selecting the UL, okay, being the parent of the list items. Then nextly we're going to have let list items. So we have document dot query selector. Alright, so we're gonna have there, what's wrong with my keys? So we have li. Okay, so we have in the li, oh sorry, let's put a dot there, dot list hyphen group hyphen item. Alright, so let's take this off and put a dot. We don't need, okay, we need a dot there. Alright, so we have li dot list group item. So we can use this. Now using this particular list item, we all know that if we're selecting this, we are selecting the first item we have here. Okay, so this we are selecting the first item. If we come down here to the HTML file, alright, so we have the list group item, the class of list group item in the list. Why the UL has a class of list group? So basically, okay, let's put that first child here, CSS pseudo class first hyphen child. Okay, so that will still be better. Now let's select val. We assign it to the list item. Okay, let's go to our console. Let's go down to our console. Okay. All right. So what do we have here? Okay. So we have here the list group item. All right. So this is the first one. This is the first one. So we have this. Now let's work on the second one, getting the list. Let's see what the list we have there. So val assign the list. let's put a semicolon at the end, very important, please. All right, so you see that this gives us the UL, which is the parent of the list items we have here. All right, basically I believe we have a good understanding of what we just did here. Now let's move on. Now we're going to be looking at different properties that are attached to the elements. Okay, different properties that are attached to the nodes and to the elements. So firstly, we're going to be having we have val equals to list dot child nodes. Okay, list dot child nodes. Now we're trying to get the child nodes. Okay, now let's look at what we have here. Okay, so we have here a collection of a node list. We have a list collection of node lists. Okay, now what really do we have here? We have the node list. Now what is a node list? Now node list is a collection of document nodes. Okay, so it's it brings out the element nodes. We have the element nodes here, we have the attribute, we have the text nodes. Okay, now using this node list right here, we see that we have basically every of the node, we have every of those list items, and we have something like a text displayed here. We have the text, we have the li list group item, we have the text. Now basically what we have here is the complete nodes of what we have in our HTML, in our index.html. Now if peradventure you don't want to get the nodes, that's a complete nodes, you just want to get only the elements. All right, so we can also use we can also use another property if you just want to get only the elements, because basically the projects and the what you're going to be using, basically what I use and when I'm building projects, I just want to get only the elements. All right, I don't want to get the entire nodes, getting the text and the list items, the element and everything. I just want to get only the elements. So what do we do there? We're going to use get children. Now get children, we have, let's say we have val, we have list list dot children. Okay, now this will give us the children in the parent. That's basically we're getting the children, and the children must have a parent. Now the parent here is the UL. Okay, I hope you understand that the parent is the UL, so we are getting the children. Now the children property will only give us the child elements. It will only give us only the element. It's not going to give us the entire child nodes. Now you see that we have a collection, a HTML collection of the items alone. Okay, only the elements, only the elements. We have the list group of the first one, we have the second, we have the third one. So basically what this children property gives us only the elements of that UL, just gets us only the element, and basically that's what we actually need when working on projects. Okay, we don't we don't need the entire nodes in that particular document. Okay, and now let's move on. I'm going to comment on that because we still have lot of things to do with the child nodes. I'm just going to show you some things. Now let's move on. Let me load this. Okay, now let's go down to the index page, index file. Now this node list you have here, the text that you are seeing here is the line break that we have on each one of the elements that we have here. Okay, so we have here one element here. Okay, then we have another element here, right here. Now this particular, in between the first element and the second element, what we have here is a line break. That's what we have here. The text is the line break in between the first element and the second element. That's the first child and the second child. Now if we say we want to remove this, okay, let's see how we can take that off. Now let's basically we have 11. Now we're going to reload. So okay, so you see that we have 10. Okay, now let's do that again for this one. Let's do that again for this one. Okay, so we reload. Now you see that we have 9. Now that is what this is all about. Each one of the line breaks that we have here is what brings about, is what is giving us the text nodes that we have here. Okay, so I have removed 2 of them, so that's why you see that we don't have that text node that we have here. Now let's get it back. All right, now let's move on to our text edit, our app.js. Then we have, let's say we have val, we have list dot children, the child nodes. Then let's give the index value of 0. Okay, index value of 0. Index value of 0 is going to give us text. Okay, now we can also get the node name dot node name. Okay, we can also get the node name. All right, so the node name of the index value of 0, okay, is text. All right, so we can do that. We can get the node name of 1. You see, the node name of 1 is the li. Okay, so we can actually do that and get a result of that. Now we can also get what we call the node type. Okay, the node type, you can get a node type also. Now you will see that right here we have a value of 3. That's a number of 3 here. Okay, now basically there is the number pertains to the type of the node. Okay, now this number you're seeing is giving us the type of node. So I'm going to paste in something here. I'm going to have here written something that's going to help us really. So we have firstly we have 1. So 1 will give us the text node. Okay, so I'm just gonna copy and paste that. So I'm gonna change this. So this will give us attributes, but so basically is deprecated. Now this will give us text node. I just made a mistake. I'm gonna correct that. No, this will give us an element. Okay, now this, don't forget to put 2 here. 3. Now we have 8 to give us a comment. Okay, now this will give us just the document itself. Then that's for 9. Then the 10 will give us the doc type. All right, now this is how this is the result of what we have right here. Okay, so 3 being the okay, I think this There's an error here. Should be the element. Now this should be the text node. Alright, now 3 we have here is a text node. Now I'm going to show you something else. So what if we have 1 here? What if we have 1, okay, being the li? So I'm going to reload this. So you see that this gives us elements, okay? So 1 here stands for element. Now I'm going to come down here to the index file. I'm going to add something else here. So I'm going to add a comment, which is test. All right. Okay, then we go down and let's try and comment on this so we can see the entire text node. Okay, so we see here what the text nodes, the node list of what we have here now is 13. Now if you come down here to this the text nodes, the node list that we have, you will see we have comments on index 3. Now because we added the comments, it was another text was added again. Because we added a new text, a new comment, another text was added, which is the line break. So if it come down here and say let's get the type of this, okay, now let's see. Okay, now this is index 3, so let's put 3 here. Let's remove this and put 3, and let's reload this. So you see that this gives us 8. Now what is in 8? 8 is comment. All right, now you see that what we have here doing is not it's not a bluff. Okay, the node type, the number that we have here is just pertaining what type of node that we have on this particular node, child nodes, what type of nodes. So that's just all we have to do for this. All right, so let's move on to the children. Let's uncomment on this. Now basically the children is going to give us the HTML collections of what we have on the UL. Okay, just the HTML collections of the list items. Okay, now we can still actually achieve some vital things that we need on this. So let's try and copy this and use the index value of 0. Okay, index value of 0, so that will give us the first one. Okay, that will give us the first item. Okay, now we can still do something cool with this. I'm going to copy this, paste it here. What if we want to change? So we have the text content. We want to change text content of that first one. I'm going to say hello world. Okay, so list us children, the text contents. Okay, so you see that gives us hello world. All right, changing the text right there to hello. So what do we want to get? The children of the children. All right, so we have get children of children. All right, then in this particular one, we're going to have val, we have list. Okay, so we have list the children. Okay, now we're going to use the index value of let's get it, index value of 3, the children. All right, firstly we're trying to get that. Okay, so you see that it's giving us the HTML collection of the anchor elements. Okay, so we have the E, we have the delete item. All right, we have, you see that we have the delete item, which is the HTML, the anchor tag that we have here. Okay, which is this, that's what we have there. So it's giving us a float, right? And we see that it have an index value of 0. So if we can come down here and say let's put an index value of 0, then it gives us the actual elements that we have running in there. Okay, so that's it, how to get the children. All right, so the children of the list, you have the list of children. We are getting the third one using the index value of the third one. okay, which is the fourth, that is this one here. All right, then we're getting the children of it. So there is a child. All right, it has this particular children has another child inside of it, which is the anchor element, and that's what we have right here. Okay, so we have the children, we have the index value of 0. If I put index value of 1, you're not going to see anything undefined, because there is no other child apart from that very first one. So it has the index value of 0. There's no other child apart from this particular one. Now, so that's it about that. Now let's move on to we have other elements, we have other properties that we can actually get hold of. Now we have var, we have list dot first child. Okay, we have list dot first child. Now this gives us, oh, what's that? Oh, sorry about that. That's not supposed to be there. Okay, the first child. Okay, so this gives us the node, the node list, the first child. It gives us it returns the node. Okay, that's the text node in that list item. Okay, so it gives us the text node. All right, so this, let's comment on this. So we get the first child. All right, so now we can also use the first element child. Okay, the first element child will give us the elements. Okay, it gives us the elements that we have on that's the HTML elements. All right, it doesn't give us the node type. All right, it returns the element, of that child. All right, it doesn't give us the node. All right, now that's the difference between this, the first child, and this just returns the node. Okay, the text node, it returns the text node, while this returns the element itself. Now we can also use last child. Let's put down the last child. You can do for last child. Okay, so I'm going to change this to last child. Alright, so let's change this to last child. So I'm going to comment on this. Now let's reload this. Alright, so the last child, it gives us the property last child returns the last child, which is the text node. It gives us the text node of the last child. Okay, why this one, the last element child, gives us the element itself for the last child. It gives us the element for the last child. Basically, we use the last element child mostly, and when dealing with projects, we use the last element child. Even for this one, we use the first element child. Now let's get the count. Let's count the elements that we have there. So we have get element count. So we have var list dot child element count. All right, so child element counts, so that gives us 5. Okay, so we have 5 elements that we have there. Now nextly, we can also get a parent. So this is parent, get a parent, get a parent. So we're going to have file, we have list dot parent node. Okay, so we get a parent node, so that gives us the parent of that particular UL. Okay, so we have the list dot parent node. So if we come down here, you see that this UL has a parent of tax title. Okay, so the UL that we have here has a parent of tax title. That's why it's bringing us what we have here, tax title. Also, we can also use the parent element. All right, parent element basically gives us the same thing. All right, it gives us actually the same result. All right, now we can also get parent of parent. All right, dot parent element again. Now let's see what that gives us. Now it gives us the card body. All right, it gives us the card body. If we come down to the index file, we say now UL has a parent of tax title. Now it has another parent of card body. All right, so that's just the hierarchy of the traverse.dom going up and down the DOM. That's just what we have to do. Very important that you know this particular aspect of JavaScript. Now let's move on. We have parents. Sorry, we have next sibling. So we have next sibling. So we have var. We're going to use the list item dot next sibling. All right, let's get the result of that. So that gives us a text node. All right, gives us a text node. Now let's work on the next element sibling. Next element sibling. Okay, that gives us the exact elements that we have here. Now what we are actually doing, we are getting it from the first one. Now this one is the second one. Okay, the next element sibling, this one is the second. Okay, so let's go down to, we can also get the next sibling again. Okay, so this is the third one. Okay, next sibling. So let's see something with that. So we have okay, let's see dot text contents. Let's change the text contents to something. Let's say we have good. Okay, so you see that this one has been changed to good. All right, I just did this so that we can see that the next sibling is actually picking the right elements. Okay, so I'm just gonna take that off. I'm just gonna take that off. Did that to show us what this is all about. Now we also do previous. We can also get previous. All right, the previous sibling. All right, so what are we gonna do here? So we're gonna do same thing we have here. So I'm just gonna copy. So right here, I'm just gonna copy and paste this, and we have previous. And let me just write it normally. Previous sibling. All right, let's reload that. So that gives us the text node. Now we have previous element sibling. So that will give us null. All right, you know why it's giving us null? Because if you come down here to the index, we don't have any other previous right here. Okay, from this element there is no previous, there's no sibling. All right, this doesn't have a sibling. All right, so what we're going to do here is to bring this one. Okay, and we have dot previous element, so this will take us back to the second one. Okay, so I'm just going to comment on this. This will take us back to the second one, so we can actually change this text content. So as you can see the result of that. Now we just use good man. All right, so change that. Yep, you see the second one, it has it has taken it back to the second one, and which we have good man. When we did that for the next one, it gives us it changed the third one, which is good. But now bringing back the previous element, it changes the exact this one here to good man. So we see that we can use the next sibling, next sibling, previous sibling. We can use parent, we can use parent, we can use, you see, these are just what we need to understand when working with the traversing the DOM, traverse the DOM. Very important thing you need to learn in JavaScript, and I believe you have a good understanding of what the traversing DOM is all about, going up and down the DOM. All right, I think that will be all for this section, and I will see you in our next session, and goodbye for now.